One of the things that I talk about and I teach and I've seen the results is a CEO Money Hour. If you're like, what the heck is a CEO Money Hour? Listen, you have been missing out. Welcome to the Money Fit MD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of Money Fit MD.
We want to change the narrative.
Where women physicians use
My job is to let you know that's going to be.
I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy. Have you ever been in a season in your life where things are so chaotic? Maybe it's a new baby, a new partner at work, something is happening in life and you're spending in order to protect your sanity, you have to just stop looking at your spending. And now you're like understanding that things are going out of whack, but you don't know how to reset. If that's ever happened to you, or if that is happening to you right now, you are going to love this episode. Welcome, guys. I'm Dr. Latifat, founder of Money Fit MD. We help women physicians lead their money and lead their world so they can have a life of freedom without all the burnout. So this conversation I'm going to have with you today was actually inspired by someone who is actively going through the situation right now. In this particular person's life, they have had a crazy 2 years or so. This particular situation, they were doing well before, they had like spreadsheets, which I don't use spreadsheets, but that's what they were using. They were using spreadsheets to organize their finances. They had a good hang over their emergency funds. They knew where the money was going. They were investing and things were going great. And then life happened. In this particular situation, the life that happened was their house needed some construction. And it was so significant that they had to move out. Insurance companies were involved. And then they were literally was like rebuilding their house from scratch. And if you have ever had any like big things happen like that, you know that many times there are going to be expenses that you don't even expect or anticipate. So this particular situation, for the sake of their sanity, they said we're not going to be looking because everyone's asking for a check, a bigger check to be written, a bigger check here and there. So for the sake of their sanity, they decided they had to turn down the volume and ignore and kind of like stop looking at their numbers. But now it's been 2 years and they're at a place where it feels like even though they're earning a great income, it feels like they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're stressing out a little bit, not like stressing out as in like, oh my goodness, life is falling apart, but that discomfort that you start to feel at the back of your mind, where anytime a bill comes in, you're like cursing out their mama, right inside of you. And you're more likely to snap at your partner. You're more likely to snap at your children during those seasons. So that is what was happening in this specific situation. However, in your case, it may be something different. You are maybe like us, you took a year of traveling around the world, or maybe you just paid off significant debt, or some emergencies happened in your family that required bigger spend than usual. And now you're at a place where you're like, how do we reel it back in? Or maybe like some of my clients, you're starting from the beginning and you are starting to look into your finances. And so you're like, Latifat, what you just described is my whole entire life. This was my whole entire life before I found your podcast. That's okay. We got you, boo. No judgment in this space. No shame in your game. We're glad you found us, and this episode is going to be so helpful for you. The things that we share in this podcast, they are practical things that you can input so you can start to get wins. And the thing is this, when you start to get those wins, so I love to hear about it because nothing makes my day than hearing from you on Instagram, on Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can literally send me a private message and say, Dr. Latifat, this episode was helpful for me. Or if you've never left us a review ever on this platform that you're listening to right now, come closer. Lean in closer. Go leave us a review. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave us a comment and make sure you share with others because this information needs to get out there because there are too many people struggling with their finances and we want to help them. Don't you? Don't you want to help them? All right, so let's get to it. So today I have about, 5 points that I want to share with you, and it's going to be like a step-by-step that you can walk through to help you reset, for lack of a better term. So again, you've bought the property, you built the house, you hired a new person at work, your big expense came in just through a fabulous party. Maybe it's like after holiday spend for you. This is going to help you. So like everything when it comes to money, the very, very first thing is honestly really your nerves. Because many times when things are happening around finances, we freak out. And when we freak out, I don't know about you, but when we freak out, we usually avoid. When we freak out, we make up a worse story than it actually is. We're like, oh my goodness, this is bad. This is going to be horrible. It's never going to work. It's never going to get better. Like we start to make small things into like a huge thing, right? We start. Okay, this is going to sound weird. The only thing that is small, that can sometimes is tiny, but actually the bigger deal is like melanoma. I respect the skin. So if you're a dermatologist, high five to you. And if you're a primary care doctor looking at skins all day, big high five to you. Those things are tiny, but they actually are like bigger than they look, in the back end, right? Anyways, back to this, but most things are not like that. Most things are not like that. Most things are not as big of a deal as you are making it. So I want us to be very, very careful, because that number one thing is we got to deal with the nerves, which is just relax, take a nice deep breath. Whew. Take a nice deep breath wherever you are, because if you don't take a deep breath, you're going to keep running. And I want you to understand that the more you run, the bigger the hole you dig yourself in. The more you run, the longer you run, the more things like this compound, like poop compounds, right? This thing compounds if you're not fixing it because you're avoiding it. When I look at my own journey as well when it comes to finances, I mean, I'm glad that I chose to start when I started, but I could have started looking at my finances earlier and maybe would have been even in a better place than we are right now. I mean, we're doing great, but the bottom line is the earlier you start, the better. The less you avoid, the better. So if your nerves is the reason why you're like hyper inflating the bigness of this problem, just calm the heck down. Take a deep breath. Relax and activate that sympathetic nervous system if you're in that parasympathetic nervous system if you're in the sympathetic nervous system overdrive. I really believe that when it comes to the finances, the most valuable place that you can be when it comes to your nervous system, it's not all sympathetic, it's not all parasympathetic, it's a blend of it. So enough sympathetic so you take action, but enough parasympathetic so you don't run away. Does that make sense? So the number one thing you want to do is like take a deep breath and literally like calm down. Calm down. We can fix this. We've dug the hole. We can get out of it. That's number one. The number two thing is like you need a system. You need some sort of system. And for this, I want to keep this episode simple, but there are different systems that you may need. And when it comes to what I'm talking about specifically today, when it comes to your numbers and spending, the system that you want is something that will be able to help bring your information in one place, okay? Bring your information in one place. And some of you guys use like spreadsheets. Again, God bless you. I'm not a spreadsheet kind of girl. I use more of an app-based system that I'm going to share with you guys in a second. But the key is you need a system, some sort of system. So some sort of system of organization of your actual money, right? But also some sort of like organization of your time. And one of the things that I talk about and I teach and I've seen the results is a CEO money hour. If you're like, what the heck is a CEO money hour? Listen, you have been missing out. So a CEO money hour is an hour that you set aside per week. Literally like 1 hour a week can bring the financial peace. 1 hour a week can keep the brokers away. 1 hour a week can actually help you see things that is happening in your finances before they become a bigger problem. I call it the CEO money hour. And what I will do is in the show notes of this, you can go to moneyfitempty.com/CEO hour. You can download my free guide that I've created about the CEO money guide, and it will literally help you. You can take this guide and decide when you want to do your CEO money hour. For me, it's Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Whatever that time is that works for you. For some people, it may be lunchtime at work. You're like, this week on this Monday, I'm just not going to be eating lunch. I'm going to do intermittent fasting during lunchtime every Monday because that is the time that I'm doing my CEO money hour. And that is perfect for those of you that are like, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Like, you have time. It's just a matter of like, how are you using it, right? And so once you've blocked out your time, decide what day, decide what time, block it out in your calendar, not one time, but like forever. Like into the future, let that time be blocked. Where it's like Mondays at noon, that's what I'm doing. Fridays at 11, that's what I'm doing. And once you do that, you can go ahead and check out that link, moneyfitempty.com/CEO hour. You can download the free guide that is attached. And all you have to do is like print out this guide or have it on your phone, store it as a download. And that time, every single week, pull out this guide and go through it. Like, it will change your life. It will change your life. I'm telling you, like, it has changed the game for so many other women physicians. So you need a system, and that is like a combination between a money management and a time management system that has helped many physicians, especially those that are like, I don't have time. Because the thing is I hear many physicians say, I don't have time, I don't know what to do. No one is making it in a language that makes sense for me, right? And so the See Your Money Hour is going to help you solve that problem. So go find it. But the bottom line is, for this number two, you need a system, and it doesn't have to be hard. Every system that I teach is simple, right? Inside of like 6 to 7, I teach simple systems. Inside Wealth Village, we teach simple systems. Nothing I do when it comes to money or wealth building is complicated. And that's why it's worked. It works. So like, we don't have to like keep struggling if the system works. So again, go download that guide. It will bless you significantly. And if you need the link, check the show notes. We'll make sure that it's there. Okay. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is you need to look at things in a way that is a good presentation for you. Again, I mentioned that some of y'all are like spreadsheet lovers. Well, I'm not. Those of us that are saying are not. Most of us are not, right? And so back in the day, I used to use Mint, which was a nice system. It was very basic, nothing fancy. It got the job done, because what you're looking for is a visualization of what your money is going, a visualization of like, okay, well, like, you know what? I was YOLOing, I was bad habiting. Like, that's literally what you're looking for. And so there are different systems out there, and this is part of like what we teach inside of our program 6 to 7, which is our 16-week course for women physicians. But I'm going to share with you like one that I use personally. I use it because it's simple, it's effective, and it's called Monarch. And if you go in the show notes, you can see like our referral link. Go ahead and click on it. It is well worth what I pay for it every month, because now I have a system that is easy, that is visual. I bring in all of my account information in there. And the beautiful part of it is like, if you are someone that is like, you're married, you have a partner where you're mingling your finances together, everyone can now have like a way to look at it that is objective. So it is not like, how do I feel? Or, well, my husband thinks I'm spending too much, or my wife thinks I'm spending too much. Now you have a neutral system where you can now look at things and answer the question of like, how is this actually working? Like, where is our money actually going? How much have I spent on Trader Joe's, on Costco, on Whole Foods, on whatever it is that you may be spending on Amazon? And now it becomes objective. And the beautiful part of it is you can also monitor over time. I know that some of you guys are like thinking right now, I don't want to look, Latifat, I don't want to see it. But let me tell you one thing, like, ignorance is not bliss. What you're not looking at may be hurting you. And the beautiful part about this too is I want you to think about it this way. The numbers you're looking at is not to judge you, is to make sure that you love what you're doing, to make sure that it'll align to what you're doing. You know, at the time of this podcast conversation, I was literally last night, there's a day of the week where our kids watch movies, and we usually would do like takeout from a specific restaurant during that time. And I actually did the math. I was like, let me see, if we spend this amount every week on this particular place, how much are we spending in a year? For me, knowledge is power. I knew that number. I know that number approximately. And then now I get to decide if that is actually the value that I want. Like, is the quality, the return that I'm getting from that money, is it good enough that I want to keep spending that way? Or do I want to change it so that I can spend in a different way? Does that make sense? So that is one of the things that we have done. One of the reasons why looking can be helpful. What I've also found is that sometimes when people look, they're surprised by what they find. So for example, maybe you're like, okay, part of the things that I find value in is like spending time with family. And then you look and you realize that I did not spend any time with family. Or you say that you like to give donations, and you're like, actually, I only gave $100 a month every month for the last 6 months. Like, you get to now change the direction based on what you see. And now it gives you like a third party for you and your spouse to talk about where it's no judgment, where it's like, I noticed that we spent, I don't know, $3,000 last month on groceries, and we spent another like $1,000 on eating out. Like, is this what we want to do? Is this in line with what we want to do? If we want to like invest $100,000 in assets, we want to invest like $50,000 in assets this year, and it feels like, how can we do it? This may be one of the things that we need to rechannel into what we actually wanted to go into. So no judgment, no shame. This is all good stuff. I use a system called Monarch. I'm going to have the link in below. This is a referral link, so you can, feel free to use it. If you do, I get a little perk from it, but it's a system that I use anyway. And then number 4, but before I do that, just to summarize, number 1 was take a deep breath and calm down. Number 2 is you need a system. I talked about a CEO Money Hour. You can go ahead and download that. It'll be super helpful for you. And then number 3 is look at where things are going objectively so that you can make a decision. And that's where systems like Monarch can come into place. There are other systems as well, but this is one that I use. And then number 4 is one of the biggest fears that people have is they think I have to cut things out. Oh my goodness, I don't want to have to like cut off like Charlie's soccer game or Charlie's volleyball or Charlie's gymnastics, or cut out like Sarah's basketball, volleyball, gymnastics, whatever it is your sweet little munchkin is doing. You're like, I don't want to. Ain't nobody coming after you. We're all adults here. Like, you get to decide what is in value for you versus not. Like, for example, in this season of our life, like, we pay for private school. Couple of years down before, I did not see the value in the options that I had. It was not worth me spending money on private school. Now it is, right? So you can see the difference. Like, it is in different seasons. And so if someone comes to me right now and they're like, cut out your private school, I probably would not, because it's adding value to our life right now, and I'm not sacrificing our long-term financial wellness, because that's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to think your kids are going to be your retirement source, because we all know how that's worked out with the last generation that put many of the eggs in our generation's basket. Like, it causes like disdain sometimes, because you're like, I have to, I don't have a choice. Of course we want you to have a choice, but the bottom line is, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So yes, invest in their education. As long as that's not what you're thinking is going to be your own ticket to freedom, then we're good. Okay, so that's number 4 is, I want you to think, instead of like, I'm gonna have to cut out, I want you to think about it as a dial, where you're dialing up or down the volume of something as opposed to cutting it off. So for example, if you love eating out, maybe instead of like eating, many times people say, cut it out. That means like, stop eating out. But maybe instead of thinking about it that way, just turn down the volume. So maybe you eat out like twice a week or 3 times a week. Maybe turn the volume down to like 1 time a week, right? It's not deprivation. It's an act of kindness, because you're making the intentional decision based on what is of value to you, based on the future that you want, based on what is more profitable for you to do with your money. Okay, so that's number 4. And then the last but not the least is decide how long you want to do that for. And I always recommend no less than a month. There is data showing that, if you want to change new habits, 21 days, whatever, like 30 days is just easy. 1 month is just easy. And the key is, I want you to be careful where you're not depriving yourself to the point where you're like, after 30 days, I'm going to I'm going to go crazy after 30 days. Like, that is not of value to you, right? So decide how long you want to do this for, to retrain yourself. And then once that time is gone, just like take a deep breath again, relax, and don't go into binging mode, because binging mode could be a sign of scarcity mindset. Okay, so just to reiterate and summarize for you, number 1 is take a deep breath. Take a darn deep breath. Number 2 is you need a system. Repeat after me. I need a system. Number 3, and the CEO Money Hour is a great guide that you can access right now to help you. And the number 3 is look at your numbers in a way that is neutral, right? Monarch is a great system that you definitely can borrow. And then number 4 is, instead of thinking like cutting it down, I want you to think like the volume dial up or down, right? And you have control. You can turn it down now, and the next season you may not turn it, you may turn it back up. Like right now, at the time that I'm recording this, we actually have been doing quite a lot of like eating out, more so than we do normally, because we've just been doing, there's been lots of travel, right? And so we're in a season where I expect that when I look at my spending, eating out is going to be higher on there, but that's not what March is going to look like, right? We've taken some trip as a solo trip. We've taken trip out of state. We've, met up with friends. Like, these are all part of richness, right? And so we will continue doing it, but it will not be to the level that maybe we've done it this year so far. And that's okay. So again, no judgment, no shame. Just take action. That's the key. And then last but not the least, decide how long you want to do this for. No binging, no scarcity mindset. Take a deep breath. And remember, we're rooting for you. I hope this has been helpful for you. Remember to check the show notes to access the CEO Money Hour guide so that you can start to win right now. Because, guys, knowledge is great and all, but knowledge without applied action is just like a waste of time. That's not wisdom. If you apply it, you get the results. And if you listen to this episode, then it's so important that you apply it so that you can get the results that you want. Thank you. God bless you. I'm rooting for you. See you in the next episode. And again, once you've applied this, I want to hear from you. Send me a DM. MoneyFitMD on Facebook, MoneyFitMD on Instagram, and also on LinkedIn as well. I love hearing from you guys. Take care. God bless and see you soon.